Hi everyone, my name is Amber. Welcome to my channel Ask Amber. And for those of you who are returning, again, I appreciate your support. Today I want to just talk about the importance of persevering through, you know, dark days and hard times, even though it's like we don't know how we're going to get out. We have no idea. Like we have exhausted in our mind all of our ideas. We have no idea how this is going to come together for us. But and idea after idea, we begin to like lose hope and faith because it's like I know this is going to work, and then that doesn't work for us, and it's like okay, I have something else. And then we're relying on this person or that person or this person to come through for us, and it's not. When all of that happens, Spirit tells me that it's a period of rest. Like when all of our tries and our ideas are exhausted, and nothing seems to be working, that means we're supposed to be working on something else, which is more than likely ourselves. So when we've tried tweaking our resume 20 and 30 times, and calling people, reaching out, and trying to just make things happen, and they're just still not happening, that means because nothing is supposed to be happening. We are supposed to be in a period of rest. We're supposed to be working on ourselves or within, or perhaps there's something that we need to go forward that we don't have, that we're waiting for it to come. So I just say to you to not give up. Like, don't give up, and don't think you're going crazy. You're not going crazy. Don't think you're broken or something is wrong or you're not good enough. Just remember that God never starts something that He doesn't finish, right? So if you're still here, that means He's still working on you and He's still working with you. So the other thing that I want to touch on is the importance of listening, right? We have to listening not only with our human ear, but listening with our spiritual ear. We have to ground ourselves enough to listen, and listen the first time, right? Because what happens is, right, Spirit will say to us, like, I'm going to give you guys a few examples. So you'll have an important appointment to go to, and you need your ID or whatever to get in. Spirit will say to you, first voice you hear, you left your ID. Immediately following is another voice that says, no, you didn't leave it. It's in the car. Remember, you left it in the car. You went out, you put it in your glove box or your armrest. It's in the car. Remember? And then they begin to just drill in our minds, like, you left it in the car. It's in the car. Don't you remember? It's in the car. It's in the car. And you're like, oh, yeah, it's in the car. You're like, what? All right, it's in the car. So another example, you're driving. The first voice comes and says, don't go left. Normally you go left. This is, we all have patterns of habit of driving the same way to get to this same destination. We have a normal route that we take. You hear this day, don't go left. Immediately following, you hear the second voice, go left. That's the way you take. It's the shortest amount of time. You like going that way because there's less lights. And the second voice is convincing us all the reasons why we should go left, after we already heard the first voice say, don't go left, right? So we go left. Next thing you know, we're in a ton of traffic for a million hours, and we're late for work, late to drop the kids off. Like, we should have just listened the first time. So I gave you those examples because you guys need to know about listening to the first voice. The first voice is the right voice, and the first voice is not going to repeat itself. The second voice that you hear is the wrong voice, which is the enemy, right? If you can hear, we can all hear, right? How you know it's the wrong voice is because it convinces you of why, right? A parent doesn't convince the child why normally, like, oh, you should do this. A parent just says, do this. They didn't give us reasons why growing up. It was just like, do this and you have to do that, and don't ask questions. Don't ask me no questions. That's what they say. I know you're not asking me no questions. And you're like, oh, I'm not asking no questions. So when the first voice speaks, it doesn't give you an explanation. It doesn't tell you why. It doesn't hold your hand. It says do it. Like, don't do this or don't do this. And that's that, just as a parent. So how many of you guys just think, for a second, how many times you've been in this situation? It happens to all of us, where you heard the voice, don't go in that club. You're like, what? Don't go in the club? Or don't go out tonight. Stay in the house. Don't go out. Second voice like, nah, you could go out. You're straight. God got you. Yada, yada. Not that God doesn't have you, but you heard, don't go out. And then you go out and it's just a story of stories to tell. A story for the times to tell, because you didn't listen. You're like, damn, if I only would have listened, this would have not happened to me. My next thing that I'm bringing up. So let me recap on that. The first voice that you hear is the right voice. It's not going to repeat itself. It's not going to convince you why. It's not going to give you reasons as to why it's the right voice. It's just the right voice. The second voice that you hear is the enemy, and it is going to convince you. It immediately follows the first voice. It's going to convince you as to why the first voice is wrong and why you should believe what the second voice is saying. It's going to convince you. It's going to try to imprint. It's going to try to give you feelings and memories. Oh, yeah, go left because you love it. It's things to butter you up to convince you to that voice to me. I'm saying what's right. It's not right. So stop second guessing yourself. Listen to the first voice. You know what you heard. Don't wait to hear. If you hear it again, you heard it. Like, you know what you heard. And that's that. My third topic, excuse my voice. Hold on. Let me get some fruit. My third topic that I want to touch on is the cost of not listening to the first voice. Man, oh man, if I tell you the cost financially, spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, I don't know if I named that already, all of me, the cost to my family, the cost to my loved ones, the cost to my spiritual family, that's going to be my fourth topic, so make sure you guys remind me. The cost of not listening to this first voice. And not only the first voice, but of listening to your elders, right? Our elders, when they tell us something, they're not just telling us because they're the elder and they want us to know they're right and they just are trying to exercise their seniority or no. They're telling us that so they could spare us the change, which is financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, for our families and for ourselves, right? They are telling us what they know to be true. And when you have a spiritual circle, right? When you have these spiritual elders, I know a lot of you guys are entering into the the world of spirituality. A lot of you guys are leaving religion and you're coming over to spirituality. And that is wonderful. You're just trying to figure out who you are and where you're headed. What's my purpose? These things that religion doesn't teach us. So I'm just going to share my personal stories. I can't wait to hear you guys. But, so many times my parents, grandparents, spiritual elders, told me, Amber, that's not for you. Don't do that. That's not for you. And what do? I'm like, what? So they're saying I'm not good enough? Like I'm not capable of doing this? So I can't do I can't run this race because like that person, is that what they're trying to tell me? Like I'm not good enough, I'm not capable. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna prove that I can run that race. And I run the race, and the injuries that it caused me, that it caused my family, that it caused, just the domino effect of me not listening, right? And I'm talking about elders, right? I'm not even talking about spiritually what came to me, right? I'm just talking about my spiritual elders, my elders, parents, spiritual godfather, spiritual family. And we don't do that. No. And then they're not. And I took it as, what the problem was? Ego was in the way. I gotta write these things down, guys. Ego was in the way. Ego was in the too much ego. Like what? If they can do that, I can do that. My godfather used to say, and my dad, everything is not for everybody. Everything is not for everybody. I'm like, what are they talking about? Like me, I can do this. Whatever it is, I can do it. Whoever does it, I can do it. Too much ego. And so I don't listen. And like I said, the injuries that it caused me, ones that you can see and the ones that you can't see. The ones that are healed and the ones that are still open and bleeding, right? The ones that obviously you can't see. And the scars that I have to show, these races that I've won, and I'm here to talk about it, thank God. But if I would have listened, I wouldn't have these scars. If I would have listened. So, I'm just writing a note to myself because as I'm talking, it's just bringing up so many things, and I have so much like I want to tell you guys, but the importance of listening is so important because we don't get second chances sometimes or third chances. Sometimes we get the information given to us by an elder, or it doesn't have to be an elder. It could be a book, it could be a TV, it could just be something that resonates within our soul. But the point is, the message has been given to us, so now we're held accountable, right? So I didn't listen, and the cost of me not listening was astronomical. I can't even add up a numerical value of the cost of me not listening. How much did it cost me? How much did it cost my loved ones? How much did it cost my spirit for me to not listen? So I just want to ask you guys, just think for a second, all of the times in your life where you've made the wrong decision, and you're here and you're living to talk about it, but how much did it cost you? How much did it cost your loved ones? How much is it still costing you to not listen? So, which brings me to my next point. Ego. We have to remove ego from ourselves. There's no place for ego in the spiritual realm. You can be proud, but no one knows it all. Like, I don't know it all. I'm forever a student, even though, we're teachers and students at the same time. But I'm forever a student, just like my teacher is a student and his teacher is a student. And, it goes on and on and on for the lifetime. So none of us know it all, okay? Nobody knows everything. We just don't. Like, even when we think we know, we just don't know. We don't have all of the information. So when ego gets in the way, like when somebody says you can't do that, it's not best for you, right? Because there's two different things. That's another thing that it brings me to is discerning when somebody is telling you that you can't do it because you're not capable, or you can't do it because it's not best for you. It's not in your how you say it in English? It's not good for you to do that. That's not your path, basically. It's not right for you to do that. So when my ego gets in the way, just like all of ours, we tend to think like, I can do it. It's me. What are they talking about? Like, look at me. I can do it. Like, what? Me? If anybody can get it done, it's me. Me, right? But when I was getting the messages of everything is not for everybody, I'll just never forget that ever. What that one is doing, you can't do. Just because you see someone else doing it, you believe it's for you. Like, you can do it. Everything is not for everybody. I'm here to tell you, and thank God I'm here to tell you guys this, because I could be elsewhere telling you guys this, and however long later I could be telling you guys this, that everything is not for everybody. So if you have someone in your life telling you like slow down, or take a different path, or you should think about changing certain things in your life, this person, you have to, that's a whole nother point. So before I get to my topic on discernment, or after discernment, if you have someone in your life telling you to change things, right? If you trust them, like with your life, that's the importance of a spiritual teacher, a pastor, a friend, a mom, a dad. If you can't trust them with your life, if you don't second guess like anything, if you second guess anything that they say to you, then you don't trust them. Like, you don't trust them with your life. You don't trust that they have your best interests at heart. You don't believe that they can help you know what's best for you, or they see it before you see it. So you have to sit down and think things clearly, and think about when these people have ever steered you wrong. Just go back and, sit down. If wine is your thing, that's wine. If Mary Jane is your thing, Mary Jane, if Mary Jane and wine is your thing, then sit down in a quiet space and sit with your friends, Mary Jane and wine and Moscato, Mary and Moscato, and think things through and figure out, sit down and think back to how many times these people have steered you wrong. And I can, for myself, I can tell you none. Like, these people I've named have never steered me wrong. I'm thanking God for having such a strong spiritual family and spiritual family. Like, the people that God placed in my life, definitely wise, definitely knowledgeable, wise again, very in tune. These people that God have placed placed in my lives, and they're just not like elders like 80s and 90s. I don't want you guys to be mistaken. Elders, I mean by a minute older than you, a second older than you. Right? Even though we can learn from everyone, but the people I'm referring to are the people that are older than me, that are very, very, very wise, like even wise beyond their age, I could say. And part of my Scorpio sign thinks that I know it all. I'm here to tell you, like, I've given up thinking I know it all and trying to do things my way, because my way got me with these scars. Some of them you can see, and a huge one on my leg. Some of them you can see, and a lot of them you can't see. You can't see them; they're in here. So that brings me to the importance of discernment, right? Discernment is a word that we hear in the Bible a lot. We hear discerning. We hear about praying to God for the gift of discernment to um, to distinguish or to determine or to evaluate or to assess what is going on. So in life, these physical problems manifest. Well, not physical, but these problems manifest. They could be physical here in this earthly realm, right? And we pray to God for the gift of discernment to figure out who is involved spiritually, what is going on. We want to know in order to find the solution. So let me give you guys an example. Oh, I have to plug in. Let me give you guys an example. So you may tell your friend, excuse me, I'm just trying to put the charger on. You may tell your friend, like, girl, I just got a new job. I just got a promotion, and I'm so happy. So you're just sharing your excitement for this new job that you have. And her response may be, oh, that's cool. Immediately, a flag goes up in your spirit. Something's off. And you're like, you don't know what to say. Then you're like, oh, still going on. And she's like, I said it's cool. Like, that's dope and all. Like, oh, all right. So she changes the topic. So what are we doing for this weekend? Like, but I was just talking about my new job or my new promotion. So when times like that happens, I just stop for a second and I say, who is this? Who is this in the midst of this? I heard what she said, but it's not what she said. It's how she said it and who was behind what she was saying. So then we start to get into like different energies, like, so that would be, the spirit of jealousy or the spirit of envy. And you're like, oh, she's jealous. That's why she responded like that. And when you figure out who's behind these issues that arise in your life, you're able to handle them differently. Instead of not discerning, right? And you just respond like, yo, what the F is wrong with you? Like, so, you see? And it just turns into a full blown argument. And for what? That's what happens. So I just wanted to take a moment out to speak with you guys. It has been a while. I'm still working on me and I'm still being worked on from the inside out, of course. You can't see it. But I am just praying that this message just reaches you guys well and that it resonates with you guys well. And I am praying that that whatever issues you guys have would be inverted. I am praying that whatever sickness may be coming your way will be averted as well. I am praying that blessings come to you guys in abundance. I am praying that happiness comes to you guys in abundance. I am praying for clarity, peace, knowledge, wisdom, health, understanding, all good things to come to you guys. And remember, sometimes you don't get to pick your spiritual team, right? Spiritual team. And I mean by like, it could be your grandfather, it could be whoever, but we all need a team. Like, we all need wise elders to consult with and to fall back on. And, basically to pour into our glass. That'll be my next topic. Or maybe I'll just cover it right now and just make it even 25 minutes. So, what I mean by pouring into our glass is, this topic is so big, it's much bigger than this, but here's my glass. Oh, I don't have a glass, but here's my imaginary glass. Okay, here's one. It's not a glass, it's animal. So, here's my cup, and let's pretend it's empty and it doesn't have crystals in it, right? So, when I'm sad and I'm low and I'm sad and low and I'm confused and I need help and I need guidance, right? We need spiritual elders and people to come and pour into our glass. What I mean by pour into our glass, I mean by fill us with knowledge, wisdom, understanding, hope. To fill us with hope, to fill us with faith, like help us restore our faith once again. So that's what our elders do, right? And that's what we do for others, right? We should be able to pour into the glass. But sometimes we have friends that we're always constantly like giving advice to, or I don't really want to say advice, but friends, everyone is supposed to pour into someone's cup, right? But every now and then we have this person, and in my past, oh my god, I want to talk about this so bad. This is gonna be my next video. I'm gonna do it right after this. I'm making a note because I have to. Every now and then we have someone who just uses us to pour into their cup. And what I'm talking about in my life is way back, back when I had these guys as friends, and they would just use me to pour into their cups, but they didn't pour into mine. Like I didn't get anything out of pouring into their cup. Not anything. Like I felt gratification that I was able to help someone or things like that. But after a while, it's like, and when you need someone to pour into your cup, it's like you place a call. Oh, no, I can't help you right now. I'm busy. Or they call you like, listen, I need a hug. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm there. I'm there for you. And there's a song, I'm going to save it for the next episode. I'm going to record it right after this because this is already 25 minutes. And I appreciate you guys for your time. I thank you for your time, and I appreciate any and all feedback. Peace and blessings to you always. Ask Amber.